40 organizations publish federal work zone feeds. An official government validator checks whether those feeds are well-formed. Nothing checks whether they are true. Utah's feed passes that validator with 0 errors, and it is still reporting 744 road closures that ended years ago. Interchange is the thing that checks. This is the live fleet. 41 publisher feeds from 40 real public agencies, each polled on the cadence it declares for itself, each scored against the same 6 rules. 16 admitted, 5 on watch, 7 quarantined. The 13 marked no access are key gated feeds Interchange has never been able to reach. They are not counted as passing, and they are not counted as failing, because a feed nobody has read has done neither. Here is Utah. 2 rules of firing. R2 says the feed reports a last updated time older than its own declared cadence allows. It claims a 15-minute refresh, and its timestamp has not moved in over 3 years. R4 says the feed marks work zones active, whose end date has already passed, and it does that for 744 zones, which is every active zone it publishes. Neither of those is a schema error. The document is perfectly valid. A conformance test passes it, and a navigation service consuming it routes drivers around closures that no longer exist. The finding becomes an evidence packet. The same facts rendered once for the data consumer and once for the registry owner, so the two cannot drift apart. It carries the rule set version on its face and the observation it was drawn from. Now watch the Approve button. It is disabled, and it stays disabled until the Registry Notice tab has actually been opened, because approval retorts a hash of the exact text you read, and an approver who never saw that text cannot attest to it. Nothing here sends anything. Filing the notice is a human step outside the product, and that is a deliberate non-goal rather than a missing feature. Then, Interchange republishes a merged feed and validates its own output against the official schema before emitting it. 30,192 zones published of 46,362. 0 errors. Every exclusion is named, and the arithmetic closes. Utah's 744 zones are held back before the merge, so the quarantine removes the bad data rather than just labeling it. Minnesota served nobody this cycle, and its count is marked last known rather than quietly reported as 0. And here is where it runs. The console is a cloud-run service on Google Cloud, and the fleet's whole memory is Firestore. Publishers, observations, rule evaluations, evidence packets, every collection written by the live cycle, down to the fields of a single poll. Gemini is called through Vertex AI with the runner's own service account, so no API key exists anywhere in the deployment. One thing worth saying plainly, no model decides any of this. Gemini adjudicates ambiguous duplicate pairs and drafts notice wording, and it has no path to a trust verdict, because a score invites a threshold, and a threshold is a gate. The decision is deterministic, it is versioned, and it shows it's working.